How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to read the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Sam Bankman-Fried says FTX lawyers said insider loans and sham agreement were okay. So, FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried will assert that he had no intention of breaking the law, and to prove it, his lawyers plan to use FTX attorneys who advised him while he was still CEO and basically try and throw them under the bus. Their argument is the lawyers gave him assurance that he was acting in good faith and that they were responsible for reviewing elements of his alleged misconduct. Earlier this week, Bankman-Fried pled not guilty to 7 charges filed against him by the DOJ. Hunt Richter of law firm Richter Dazing told Decrypt that to the extent that is demonstrated to be accurate, SBF's reliance on the advice of counsel is a fair defense, and that the government will be required to show that beyond a reasonable doubt, SBF was intending to commit fraud. So this could possibly be something that makes him get off scot-free. GOP debate, where do the candidates stand on Bitcoin? So, a couple different candidates. Trump said in Twitter on 2019, he is not a big fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, favoring the US dollar. He does hold a few NFTs and he has his own project, but I believe that's just to gain hype from the crypto crowd, and he's not very genuine. But I could be wrong. He has done some decent things as president. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has expressed support for Bitcoin since his first official day as candidate. He told the billionaire Elon Musk that Bitcoin will probably be killed if Biden is re-elected. So there is that warning. So Biden's not pro-crypto if you don't know that already. DeSantis is another kind of shaky one in my opinion. Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy. He says he is pro-Bitcoin and he is a Biden alternative in Bitcoin Miami 2023. He's a little iffy in my opinion too though. And then there's this guy I didn't really hear of much, which is Ramsaway. And he said that Bitcoin is not a security. He lambasted the Federal Reserve for trying to play financial god, criticized CBDCs, and skewed Biden's administration's proposed 30% exercise tax on crypto mining. So he's done quite a bit for the crypto space, so he's not just saying it, he's doing it. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott has established himself as supportive of crypto regulation. Scott was also a co-sponsor of the Equal Opportunity for All Investors Act, which was a bill that ultimately failed last year but sought to define digital assets as an investment and modify existing rules surrounding accredited investors. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum hasn't been a vocal proponent of Bitcoin and commented on the construction of a data center in North Dakota last year and noted that the state's emergence as a hub for crypto mining could be positive and that they would be willing to basically help house that. So that's about it for the candidates. I didn't cover this yesterday, so I apologize to my Shib holders, but Shib devs say Enhanced Network is almost ready to reopen. So if you're kind of like, man, Shib's down, this is going to explain why and how that may change. After a rocky start last week, Shiba Inu's Layer 2 network Shibarium is expected to relaunch with a new monitoring system and other features designed to help it cope with high levels of traffic. So that gives you the hints right there. In their latest blog post, the pseudonymous Shiba Inu developer Satoshi Kusama stated that after 2 days of testing and tweaking parameters to achieve a ready state, Shibarium is now enhanced and optimized. So, a little way down for the next bit, but shortly after going live, transactions on the network ground to a halt for a staggering 11 hours, with approximately 1.7 reportedly trapped on an Ethereum bridge. That's been cleared up, but that's the long and short of what happened. The issue was due to a massive amount of traffic from users. According to the developers, this flood of transactions overloaded the network servers and pushed them beyond their operational capacity. That's kind of a bad thing, but it is being resolved. Kusama went on to say that additional validators will be joining the network, after which testing will wrap up, and they will prepare for a public consumption once again. So hopefully they will be able to be more stabilized, but basically they got more traffic flow than they planned on being able to handle. So that's a good problem to have. It's not their code broke the network like Solana. But onto the charts. We are testing this resistance still, right around here on our total. So we keep testing this zone at 33.16. Our money flow is trying to curl up. RSI is trying to curl up. That stochastic's getting pretty tight, so we could fall away here. Keep an eye on that. That VWAP is trying to go bullish, but it's not very strong currently. So just watch out. If we flop over tomorrow, we could end up getting a breakdown then. Our momentum wave is coming up. We have a green dot. That's just because our VWAP's going up. Like I said, watch out if that VWAP rolls over. Over on the daily for Bitcoin dominance, we are getting a little bit of a rejection here. That RSI is starting to curl off. As stochastic wants to push up, our VWAP is in the bullish territory, kind of meeting some resistance, so watch out. We've broken away from this zone several times in the past, so this could be a bearish level to be in. Money flow is coming out. That momentum does want to go up, but if that VWAP rolls over, that momentum's going to drag out over here, and we could just see it just ride this area. Jesus. Sorry, chinchillas are going crazy right now. Bitcoin dominance, we are getting a little bit of a pump up, so we want to try to fill this gap we made here. We do have that gap there, and the other two gaps here and here as well, so keep that in mind. This isn't a very strong try or a push, so we could get rejected tomorrow. So keep that in mind. We are opening a little green. We did move up pretty decently. Remember, this oak closes a little sooner than our other candles. But this is tomorrow's candle technically. Our VWAP is pushing up. Stochastic's trying to push up. That RSI has gone flat. Our money flow is going toward that neutral like it wants to break through, but it's kind of stalling. This candle is going to be important. If we get a continued green candle and we get some push up and fill this gap, or get somewhat of the gap filled, we could fill the gap completely, possibly come here. And if we get bullish theme to continue from there, we could fill our higher gap. Now, that would be cautionary, because then we could end up having this really big drop to this lower gap. Not sure what kind of news would cause that, but there could be that possibility. Our momentum is starting to taper off. That VWAP is in the bullish territory, like I said, kind of struggling. Over on Bitcoin, we are trying to smash through the point of control, going upwards. Speaking of smashing up, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe. Join us through the Discord link down below. It's about in the middle of the paragraph if you can't find it. We'd like to see more of you there. We are trying to break above this area we have, so we could possibly push the channel higher. We're going to have to kind of reevaluate on the lower time frames. That money flow is trying to come up. VWAP's trying to push up. That stochastic is getting a pretty decent push up. That RSI is pushing up, and our momentum wants to come up. So if that VWAP can continue with the strength, that momentum wave may be able to come back up. Oops, not mean to do that. Over on the 4 hour, wow, that actually might be a good spot to have that. Over on the 4 hour, reason being, we have a few candle touches. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a pretty solid top. Bottom, we have quite a few. So this could be a freak breakout, and these could just be wicks out. Stochastic is trying to run up. RSI is starting to lose strength. Our VWAP is starting to head down, and our momentum looks like it wants to curl out because it's starting to lose that strength since the VWAP's losing strength. Our money flow does want to push up, so our money flow is trying to go bullish, but not very fast or strong. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to push that neutral. We did get rejected once before, but we're coming up on it again. If we can break through with some strength, that would be positive. We could invalidate this bearish possibility. But if we do continue to pull away from here, then we could get sucked back down and see those lower price targets. That stochastic does have a bearish cross and it's falling, so keep an eye on that. If it continues to fall like this, that RSI is going to lose strength, and since it's already making lower highs, it's not looking too good. That momentum is starting to roll out as our VWAP is starting to push down. That VWAP is getting close to that neutral and wants to break bearish, so keep an eye on that. That could set up some more bearish trajectory if it breaks down. Over on the 1 hour, our money flow did break bullish, kind of got rejected, did manage to break bullish again, but it's starting to come back down, so keep an eye on it. If it breaks back bearish, we could see another leg down. That VWAP is trying to curl to the bullish side, so if the VWAP can push, that may be able to help that momentum push to the upside as well. That momentum does want to give a little bit of a curl, so if that VWAP can break through, we'll get that green dot and we could have some bullish trajectory. Stochastic is falling pretty sharply, and that RSI does want to move up, but if the stochastic continues, that RSI is likely to weaken. Over on graph for the daily, obviously the weekly, meant to be on the daily. We are still kind of trending in this middle kind of range between our value area low and our point of control on our volume profile. That RSI is trying to head up as stochastic is going kind of flat, and that RSI is starting to go kind of flat. So keep that in mind. We do have the bullish trajectory, but we're struggling to get past this zone. That money flow is coming out, does want to round back up, so if that can break bullish, we may be able to get some strength here. Our momentum is trying to push up, trying to gain some bullish strength, but that VWAP's not going anywhere very fast, so the momentum's not going anywhere too fast either. Over on the 4 hour, we do have some sort of a double bottom that could be here. I believe I kind of etched that out the other day. Stochastic's trying to run up, RSI is starting to lose strength though, as that stochastic's starting to bend. If that stochastic continues to bend off, that RSI could start to lose some strength from here. That VWAP did run up pretty decently, bringing our momentum up, but not through that neutral. If the VWAP starts to taper off here, we could see some further bearish action start. That money flow is trying to go bullish, but it's just tapering off just under the neutral, so it's struggling to gain bullish momentum as well. And if we push lower with the VWAP and other indicators, we could see that curl away as well. Over on the 2 hour, we have a reversal arrow that is starting to bring us down, as stochastic is pushing lower with a bearish cross. That RSI is dipping, wants to come back up, but not looking too strong if that stochastic continues to fall. That momentum does want to round off. The VWAP is breaking toward that neutral and wants to break through, so keep an eye on it. If it breaks through with strength, we could get another leg down. That money flow is in the bullish territory technically, but not very strong. It's getting lower highs currently and looks like it could round off if we start with another red candle next. So keep an eye on the next couple candles. If we get a couple green candles, that'd be good for us, but if we get a few red candles, that could bring us down. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is starting to push down, starting to kind of roll. So if that stochastic manages to roll up more, we could gain some strength back. That RSI is trying to push higher, so the RSI wants to go up. We are getting lower highs currently, keep an eye on that. If we continue with lower highs with price and our RSI, we could end up forming a trend down. That stochastic is starting to roll over. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory, trying to push up, so if that VWAP can break back to the bullish side, we could get a push forward. However, if the VWAP curls away from here, we could see further downside. That money flow is rounding up, so it does want to get some bullish trajectory, but it's kind of struggling. It's getting real jagged here. Just keep an eye if we start to roll away. If we make a new low, then we could be in for further lows. Over on Anchor for the daily, we have a little bit of a push, nothing too exciting. Might have a bullish candle pattern here. We have a red candle, a hammer candle, and a green candle. If this green candle can get about where that red candle was, that'd be a bullish setup, and that could give us a push forward. I would wait on another green candle. However, that green candle with crypto could just blow through that resistance area. I would be a little cautionary though. Our stochastic is pretty tight, is going to bounce up. So our stochastic does want to get bullish momentum. Our RSI does want to go up, but our money flow is getting toward that neutral line and could break bearish. So if that does happen, then we could get pushed down. That VWAP is also struggling to gain some strong strength. So if we get pushed away around this 8, we could see another leg down and a bit of a drop. The momentum does want to roll away. It is kind of just tapering on and off as our VWAP is zigzagging around. So keep an eye on that VWAP, as that could bring our momentum back down if it breaks bearish. Over on the 4-hour, we have a reversal arrow that is starting to bring us down, so watch the next couple candles closely. Stochastic's starting to fall, RSI is starting to fall, our momentum is rounding out, so that is, all lanes are pointing to some weakness here. VWAP is getting lower highs, overall tapering out, and money flow is going flat in the bearish territory, so if that money flow rounds away, we could get another leg down. And it looks like it is a possibility. I will teach some of you, anyone in the Discord, how I'm able to tell the money flow changes a little bit more, but everything's in front. We are trending up. Our stochastic is pushing. We do have a bearish divergence. That bearish divergence could get invalidated if we get more green candles, so we do have that going for us. The RSI wants to bounce up. That momentum was gaining bullish trajectory, but the VWAP's breaking to the bearish side with the money flow, bringing our momentum down with the red dot. So if we get further red candles after this candle, we could just see like a zigzag down and a crash. Over on the 1 hour, let's see if we have any gaps. Since Algo loves its gaps, we have one there. About the only upper gap, so we have a high gap and a low gap. We have a gap right here at 2 and a gap right here at 1.9. So not very much difference as far as dollar value, but percentage wise more so better difference. That's why I tell you, your dollar value doesn't always matter, focus more on your percentage. Stochastic is pushing down, RSI is overall pushing away. That money flow is breaking to the bullish side pretty decently. If that can continue, we could get a bullish leg up and some strength. If we do that, that would leave us open to fall down here, and we could see lower price targets. So keep that in mind though. That VWAP does want to come up, so same scenario as Bitcoin. That VWAP does want to come up, but is kind of tapering out, so it could lose strength here and fall away. So I would watch the next couple candles. If we get a couple green candles beyond this gap, we could get a trend up. However, if we hit this gap, fall away, then we could get a leg down. Over on XRP, we are getting a little bit of a bounce here, so we could set up that bullish pattern like we had on, I believe it was Graph. Stochastic is trying to round off it. It would be a kind of far shot though, as XRP is really struggling with everyone being so negative because it didn't go to $1 in a bear market. But I digress. VWAP is pretty flat. Money flow is trying to bounce up. That momentum is trying to come up. Again, if you guys haven't, hit that thumbs up. Stochastic's starting to round off, so that stochastic could get a breakdown. So I would keep an eye on that. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a reversal arrow that could print here. So if we get a red candle after this, we could end up seeing this be a hammer candle to the downside, where we get a rounding top and fall lower. RSI is starting to push away, and momentum's starting to push away. That VWAP is starting to taper out. The money flow is going kind of flat, so we are kind of stalling here like we could drop. So I would keep an eye on that. We do have a bit of a up channel here. If we can make a consistent high, we could form a ascending wedge, but right now it's not anything too great. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a green dot that wanted to bring us up after that reversal arrow, but that combo did not play out. That's the second time we had it fail. We are kind of rounding, so that's why I tell you guys, it's not like, I don't even think it's 50-50 sometimes, because I see it fail quite often. But it does play out pretty decent. Stochastic, at least on higher frames. Stochastic is pushing down, RSI is pushing away, that momentum is pushing away with a red dot. Our VWAP is touching that neutral, so it wants to break into the bearish territory. If it does break through with strength, we could get another leg down, fill that wick, and touch those supports we've been talking about for quite some time. That money flow is trying to bounce off that neutral and gain bullish trajectory, so pay attention. If we make a lower high here, we could get a rejection and get sucked down. Did not mean to go to the 30. Over on the 1 hour, we are kind of tapering off. Stochastic is pushing off. Our RSI is pushing up. So we are getting a little bit indecision with those. That momentum does want to round up as our VWAP's trying to push. So again, like everything else, if that VWAP can get through, we could gain some bullish trajectory. However, if that VWAP falls and fails, we could get a bearish leg down. That money flow is slightly getting lower highs, so I would watch that, and it is starting to roll over here. If we set some red candles after this green candle, then we could get a leg down. So I would keep an eye on that. Over on Algo, for the daily, slight up channel. Our RSI is pushing up. This isn't our last coin for tonight. Stochastic's trying to push up. That VWAP is trying to push over that neutral. So that VWAP wants to gain some bullish trajectory, giving our momentum a green dot, so that could help propel us forward. And money flow does want to get a bit of a bounce too. So if this can continue, we may be able to kind of mess around and hit that value area low, at least for a retest. You always tend to get a retest of a support or resistance after you break it. You don't always just plummet to zero right away. Over on the 4 hour, we are trying to get a little bit of a drop. Our stochastic's getting pretty tight. It does have like maximum bullish trajectory, but it looks like it could fall as we have a bearish divergence and our RSI is weakening. And momentum looks like it's starting to round out as our VWAP's getting lower highs and starting to weaken as well. Our money flow looks like it could start to taper off here, so I would pay attention to the next couple 4 hour candles. So tomorrow's going to be real important for pretty much the whole market. Stochastic's going to push down, RSI wants to push up, but that momentum's coming out with a red dot, and that VWAP's breaking bearish. Not very strong currently, but if we continue, we could get a breakdown. So overall, we do have some bearish signals, but if we manage to get some bullish candles, we could invalidate that. That's pretty much what we're seeing across the board today. Stochastic wants to get a bit of a round, our RSI wants to push up, momentum wants to come down. This is on the 1 hour. Money flow is maintaining bullish momentum with higher highs and higher lows. So if we curl up and continue with that, that could help propel us forward. Our VWAP does want to break through as well, so we look a little more hopeful than some coins, but I wouldn't get your hopes up too much. So for my Dodge viewers, we are getting a little bit of a bounce on the RSI. Stochastic is trying to get a bit of a bounce. That money flow is trying to push against that neutral, so it does want to gain some bullish trajectory. I would watch out for this daily candle though. It could be a long upper shadow candle, which usually play downwards and push you lower. You see, kind of like we had that one, but that's not much of a long upper shadow. We had that one. So just a couple examples. That momentum does want to push up as our VWAP's trying to continue with a bullish trend, and our stochastic's trying to push up with the RSI. So we do look a little hopeful for our indicators, but I would watch the next candle closely. But that seems to be the theme of the day. We are getting a little bit of a reversal arrow. We do want to push away, kind of like algo. Stochastic wants to make a bearish break. Our RSI is starting to point down. Our momentum wave, is starting to push away. Our VWAP is getting lower highs, and our money flow is tapering out, slightly starting to lose strength, so we may get a bearish push from here. Just keep that in mind. Over on the 2 hour, we are starting to curl off. We do want to get bounced back up though, so much like everything else, and money flow is trying to cling to the bullish territory. Our stochastic is trying to break down. RSI wants to head up, but that momentum is starting to push away with red dot as our VWAP broke into the bearish territory. So if this money flow doesn't make a new high and the stochastic doesn't get bend, we could get dropped down. Over on the 1 hour, RSI is overall trending out, stochastic's getting beat down. The money flow does have a bit of a bullish trend, not quite as strong as algos, but similar. We are starting to come down though, so if we break a lower low, we could set up a leg down. That VWAP does want to push up. We are kind of curling, but we're going to have to see if we can actually break through that neutral or not. If we just reject away from here and meet some resistance around where these other points were, then we could end up breaking down and breaking lower. And last coin for tonight, since we have no other requests. If you want to make a request, leave a comment. RSI is trying to bounce, that stochastic's losing strength. This is for Shib. Our money flow is overall trending out. That momentum does want to come up, and our VWAP is trying to push that neutral, but it looks like it could start to curl off, so just watch out for that. Over on the 4 hour, we have a reversal arrow here. We could set up a tweezer top. It could end up bringing us down. So much like Algo and Doge, stochastic is pushing. RSI is starting to bend pretty sharp. That momentum's starting to come out. That VWAP's getting those lower highs. Money flow's getting that kind of tapering off. So overall, we look very similar like everything else, and we could push lower. Over on the 2 hour, we have that bearish engulfing candle set up, so we could get dropped down from here. Stochastic's starting to get a bearish cross and could fall. RSI is overall losing strength, and momentum is pushing down with a red dot, and that VWAP is pushing that neutral into the bearish territory, so just watch out. If we continue down, we could get another leg down. That money flow was coming up, but we are getting somewhat lower lows after our uptrend. So if we continue with that, we could end up curling away and setting another leg down, despite the bullish news we had. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night.